Hey guys, it's Caitlin Parker and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today's video, as you read the title, I have survived 11 years of pulmonary hypertension. And honestly, that just amazes me because I've come so far. I have, been knocked down. There has been so much highs and so much lows, and this video is going to be really serious, and I just want to kind of take you on the journey with me, tell you what I went through, where I'm at now. We're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the stuff that I've been through, all the things that I've overcome, all the hills that I've climbed over, the times I've got knocked down, how my head is going right now, and just kind of the journey, my life's journey. So please grab some popcorn, grab your drinks, do whatever, and I hope you guys don't click off. Today's going to be kind of a long video, but in the end, I promise it's going to be worth the watch. So without further ado, let's get straight to the video. So to begin with, I'm going to explain what pulmonary hypertension actually is and the exact definition of what it is, and then I'll explain further so you guys understand what it is. Pulmonary arterial hypertension, PAH for short, is classified as group 1, and it is a high blood pressure in the arteries of the lungs. This increased pressures affects the ability of the heart and lungs to work properly. So to basically explain that in my own definition and what I've kind of told you guys is, and I'll probably get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure the left side of my lung is caved in a little bit, so the right side of my heart is pumping a little extra. So that causes me to get out of breath really fast and really easily. I was first diagnosed October 6, 2008, and right now it is 2019, so I've been diagnosed for 11 years. How I got it was we were just going in for a regular checkup, and the doctor noticed something that was different from all the scans and the tests that they were taking, and they figured out that it was pulmonary hypertension, which I was misdiagnosed with just asthma. It was when I was little. So I basically had this disease since birth, but it was misdiagnosed as asthma until 2008 when it was diagnosed with when I was officially diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension. I was life flighted to Denver with my mom, and I don't really remember much about that because I was like I said, I was 8 years old. So I want to try to explain my childhood about this, but it's kind of hard because I was so young, so I didn't remember a lot of it. So since I was 8, I was diagnosed in 3rd grade, and I remember in 3rd grade, I missed a lot of my 3rd grade. I was in and out of hospitals. I think I spent about probably a good 3 months at the hospital, not at the same time, but just throughout the year. So I'm actually surprised I didn't get held back. But my 3rd grade teacher was my absolutely favorite teacher. She really helped me through it, and all my classmates were really nice to me. I couldn't go outside because it was really cold when I was diagnosed, and when I'm in the winter or I'm cold, that just makes my pH a lot worse, and I can't breathe. So I would always spend time, so at recess I would always get to pick somebody, and we would just chill in my teacher's room and play and wait for me to go outside. So that was kind of nice. So she was really understanding, and she was honestly my favorite teacher. I loved her. So fast forward into, it was the end of 5th, beginning of 6th grade, I had to use oxygen. I had to use oxygen when I slept. So I remember always in 6th grade that in the afternoons I would go to the nurse, and she would give me oxygen for like about 20 minutes, and then school ended. So the nurse was my best friend because I would go to her. She had my mom on speed dial, so if anything went wrong, they could call my mom and I would go straight to the hospital, but nothing happened. To this day, I've never had to, get life flighted or have an ambulance ride or anything. And through my whole childhood, I did play sports. When I was younger, I played volleyball, and I was in soccer, and I did t-ball. I did a lot of sports, but I know what sport carried on for me was motocross and volleyball, and I played volleyball up until my 8th grade year, when sadly I had to cut it short because in high school I could no longer play sports because they were too competitive. So I got into 4-H shooting. You basically stand in one spot and you just shoot, and I happen to be a very great aim, so I was really happy about that. And then I also was a football manager, so that was pretty awesome. Fast forward to my, I think, junior year, I had to miss out on the first week of school because I was going into the doctor for a regular checkup, and I had to do a heart cath, which is where they just stick a tube up to my heart. They kind of see what my pressures are at and see if I'm getting worse or if I'm improving. And unfortunately, when I woke up after the procedure, they said, "Caitlin, you know, you're getting worse and the medicine is no longer working for you." And so at that point I was introduced to my Cath 3 pump. So with my Cath 3 pump, I had so many struggles with that. I hated it. There was like no positive experiences with that. It was always in my stomach, and at first I had it in my stomach because I didn't want anybody to notice it. I was too afraid to have it in my arms. So as you can see, I can show you now. You might be able to see the little like spots right here, if it will focus, but yeah, so I still have scars from it. I think I had my pump for about a year and a half, and with my pump I could hardly do anything. It was the worst experience. There was nothing good about my pump. I had to change my pump every 3 days, and it was with insulin. So it was basically like a diabetes pump, just with different medicine pumping into me. And so every 3 days, my mom would have to put new medicine in it, so we'd have to like take it out and then change the medicine and put it back in. And then about every month or so, we'd have to actually switch side. So like if it was on the left side of my stomach, then it would go to my right side of the stomach. And then about 6 months in, it stopped working on my stomach. Like whenever I put the actual site in my stomach, it would always go bad. And then so I switched it to my arm, and and it was still so bad. Like that did not change anything. And it just happened where I got to the point where I was so over it that I just stopped doing it. I'm like, I can't take this anymore. My parents knew that I hated it. My doctors knew that I hated it, but they were trying to encourage me to take it. But I'm like, I just can't. Or when my site does get bad, it creates a bolus, which where I will throw up for about 3 days, and I'll always just feel sick. So just me having to switch my pump from arm to arm to arm, like I was always throwing up. I was never 100%. It was just a terrible time. Oh, by the way, when I was in a shower, I had to wrap it up. I could not go swimming at all, and it really sucked for me because I absolutely love swimming, and I really missed going in my inner tube, and I was actually on the swim team, but that doesn't really matter. So towards the end of my pump period, I would go like I would go probably like a week and a half without changing it. Like I previously stated, I was supposed to change it every 3 days, but I gradually like stopped doing it every 3 days. Like I would change it about every week and a half, and then because I just didn't care, like it was just making me so bad, and the only time I felt good was when I didn't have my pump in. And I know that sounds terrible, but that's how it was. So when I was done with the shower one day, I was taking the wrapping off, the waterproof wrapping, and my pump or my site was already, non-sticky because it sticks onto you, but then after a while, it starts like peeling off. So I was taking the wrap off and it fell off, and I'm like, you know what, I've had enough, and I didn't replace it. So I think I was without my pump for like a good 3 weeks, and my parents are gonna hate me for saying this because I told them that it was only probably for a week, but it was actually about 3 weeks. But so I remember that night because I came home, and that's when the house was leaking because my mom left the sink on, and so the whole basement like flooded and everything. And I came up to dinner and she's like, Caitlin, it's time to change your medicine. And now normally I do it myself, so it's not like they helped me. It's not like they helped me much. And so they didn't. And so she's like, do you have something to tell me? And I'm like, no. And she's like, really? So then she comes and drops my Cath pump into my hands and was like, she's like, no, you have something to tell me. And she's like, how long have you been off of it? And I said, for a week. And she's like, can I, and you know, she's trying to encourage me to put it back in. And I'm just like, Mom, I can't do it. Like, I physically and mentally can't do it. I can't. And I can't really explain like how that felt because it's really hard, but like I was just so done with it because it was terrible. And so trying to explain to my mom why I didn't want it, you know, they got really upset because they care for me and they want the best, and that was the best supposedly, but I'm just like I just can't do it. Like, I can't put it back in. And so we got the doctor on the phone, and I remember talking to her, and I'm just like, you know what? It's been out for a good time, so it's not even worth putting it back in because I'm just gonna get a bolus. I'm just gonna get a bolus again, and I don't want to go through that because I was sick for like a good 3 months straight, just puking every day because the medicine was like, it was so bad because I had to keep changing my pump. And I'm just like, the last week, because that's what I told them, I'm like, the last week has been so great. I've been on top of my game. I haven't had any pain. I was totally fine. And I'm just like, I know this is not what you want to hear, but this is honestly, I'm like, this is honestly the best thing for me because I don't want it in. And so my doctor was actually really understanding. She's like, you know, I can't tell you, I'm not gonna put it back in, like that's the end of it. This is my decision, my choice, and I can't do it. And so she's like, okay, but just know you're probably gonna get worse. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, so for different options. So I ended up going on to a different medicine. So after that conversation, I felt really good and I felt really proud of myself because that was finally when I could just take a deep breath, and I'm like, I got this. Like, that was probably the best day of my life so far. Like, that was the best day ever. Like, I was so happy, and I know everybody else around me was so sad and so mad, but nobody understands what I'm going through besides me because, like, nobody fully understands what it's like because they're just thinking, oh, well, it's working, like, oh, it's probably the best for you, but no, it was not. It was mentally and physically draining me, and yeah, so I got rid of that, and then I tried Uptravi, and, you know, I felt the same symptoms. I was getting headaches, I was nauseous, and I think, honestly, that's what stopped me from taking my medicine. And I've never told anybody this, and fast forward to now, I'm still not taking my medicine. And I don't know why, like, I'm just over it. I really am. I don't know what to do with my life. I am not in a good place mentally or physically. I stopped taking my medicine, and honestly, nothing right now is giving me the motivation to take it. I don't feel loved. I cry, like, nothing is pushing me like, Caitlin, you should take it, because I feel like I don't matter, and I don't know. Pulmonary hypertension is a very rare disease, and it's a chronic illness, and so it affects the quality of my life. I'm only gonna get worse. And having a chronic illness, the chances for depression and anxiety are through the roof. They're really high, and unfortunately I struggle with both. And that's why I'm at the place I am, because I'm not taking my medicine, I'm getting physically drained. It's hard for me to get out of bed. It's hard for me to do anything. Everybody always calls me lazy, and to them, I probably do seem like I'm really lazy, but to me, it takes so much for me to just get out of bed and put a smile on my face and try to do something physical. Going up the stairs, I have to stop in the middle because I am so out of breath that I feel like I'm going to pass out and faint and fall down the stairs. Every night my brother always gets upset with me because I can't get the dogs, and he calls me lazy, and he's like, oh yeah, that's just your excuse for the night. And I'm like, if you really knew how I was feeling, you probably wouldn't say those to me, because it's so physically demanding. It's really hard for me to go get the dogs without me getting so out of breath that I can barely breathe. And nobody knows that, because I'm such an introvert, and I can't talk about my feelings, and so it's just really hard. And because I have depression and everything, that my anxiety gets so bad, because I'm just worrying about getting out of breath, or worrying about when I'm supposed to take my medicine. And unfortunately, I do bad things when I get anxiety, because I worry. And I can't believe I'm going to do this, but when I have anxiety, I pull out my hair. And if you look really fast, maybe, I don't know, you can see that the top of my hair is like a boy's haircut, because when I get anxiety, I pull out my hair, and that seems to help. And I don't know. It really sucks, and I hate it, because then I feel like I'm bald, and then I only get judged more, because I get, well, you shouldn't be and so I pull out my hair when I get anxiety, and that just makes me depressed, because then my family makes me feel so bad about myself that I'm pulling out my hair, but I can't stop it. It's something that, it's an actual disease, and it affects me, and it affects my brain. And unfortunately, I wish that I didn't pull out my hair when I got anxiety, because, I would have long, beautiful hair and not short hair on top and really long hair, but I do such a good job covering it up so nobody sees. And so with my anxiety, then I start getting depression, because and with my anxiety then leads straight to my depression, because I have very low self-esteem, and that just makes me feel worse, because I feel like I'm honestly a burden to everybody. I feel like I'm always second best, or oh, nobody really cares if I'm there, because I don't have any friends. Ever since I left Cody, everybody drops me. Nobody really texts me. I'm going to shout her out, because she's the best. I do have one friend, her name is Sarah, and I don't want to exaggerate, oh, you don't have just one friend, or you don't have no friends, you probably have 10. No, honey, I don't. I literally have one friend, and she is the best, and I'm so blessed to have her, because she gets me out of bed, and I don't want to say it because it's not, like, I don't know, I don't really want to say, like, what she has, but she also has an illness, and so we can kind of go back and forth and relate, and we just talk about it. We don't try to compete with our diseases like one of my friends used to do. It made me feel so bad about myself. And so yeah, she's great, but I guess I feel like I'm a burden, and when I'm at parties, like, I feel like nobody likes me. Like, I feel like nobody cares if I'm there, and that is true because I have left. Or I leave the room and nobody checks in on me. Nobody cares. Nobody says, "Hey, Caitlin, how are you doing? Are you all right?" Because I don't talk, so nobody wants to talk to me, and it really sucks because, I think and it really sucks because people, rather be with the extroverts that's there to make the fun, that's there to make the party fun. And so, with the depression, and me not taking my medicine, I am probably suicidal. I wouldn't do the common things to, kill myself, to end my life or all that, but, I'm not taking my medicine, so that's kind of the same thing. And, to me, that's kind of the same thing. And I'm reaching out because I do need help. And I do want to get better. And I do want to get better. And I do want to live. I do want to get better. And I just need, like, a little push. And I don't know where else to say this because I haven't told this to anybody, and nobody's really encouraged me to take my medicine. They're just saying, well, all your symptoms are because you're not taking your medicine. Like, nobody's really checking my mental health, which I don't really have, which my mental health is so bad, it's not even funny. So, yay! So my senior year of high school, I actually was really fortunate enough to go to have my Make-A-Wish. So because I do have a chronic illness, I was selected for Make-A-Wish, and at first I was really reluctant to do it because my friend made me feel, like, kind of bad about it, and she kind of shamed me out of it because she's like, why would you want to go somewhere, like, you should get an item or something. And to me, like, I'm not really about items. I'd rather have experiences, and I would want to travel and all that. And so, like, she made me not want to go anywhere. And then finally I had enough, and I, like, really, like, took back, and I'm like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I'm not ever going to get this experience again. And so I went to my nurse, we talked and all that, and I explained my wish. And my wish was to go to Hawaii and swim with the dolphins. And I had the best time ever. It was so much fun going to Hawaii and looking forward to something instead of where I was at, because at that time I still had my pump, and so life was pretty miserable for me. And so it was just so happy to finally get out of Cody, like, get out of my normal routine and just, we swam with dolphins, and I actually swam with a wallfin, which is a half dolphin, half wallfin. So yeah, and I put a smile on my face, and I was the happiest girl in the world. Like, it was an unbelievable experience. I got to experience it with my brother, and the only thing that I remember bad about that trip was having to wear my wetsuit. But I eventually got over that, and I was thinking, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime thing, and I'm probably not going to get this experience again. And I just kind of, like, let it go over my head, and like, words can't describe, like, how happy I actually was. And I'm so grateful for all the volunteers and to everybody who made my wish happen, because I loved it. It was awesome. And I definitely hope to go to Hawaii again. So about 8 months ago, I got a handicap sticker. It's crazy being a 19-year-old and having a handicap sticker, but it's been super beneficial for me, and I'm very thankful that I have it, because I can park in the front, and I don't have to park so far back and not being able to breathe or walk to the doorstep. And like in Walmart, I don't have to park so far away. I can park right I can park right in the middle, and yeah, it's really awesome. But I just, I kind of want to talk about how, like, the appearance of who should have a handicap sticker and who doesn't, because when I'm sitting in my car and I get out of my car, when I'm sitting in my car and I get out, the stares I get is unbelievable. Everybody just stares at me kind of like, should she really have a handicap sticker? Because she doesn't look sick. She doesn't look like she needs it. But, that's the thing that sucks about a chronic illness, because I look fine on the outside. I look normal. I look like a healthy 19-year-old girl. But I'm not. I have PH, and nobody really knows about that, because when you do look at me, I look normal, and I don't really go out sharing that I have PH. A lot of people that know me still don't know that I have it, and I'm totally fine with it, because having this disease is really hard for me to talk to people, because it's very hard for me to open up to people and talk about it. I don't like talking about it at all, and this is why this video, I'm struggling talking about it, because there's so much I want to say, but I feel like I can't, because I can't think of everything. I can't think of what to say, and I know that there's so much I can add, but it's okay. Sorry, I got off track. Back to my point about the handicap sticker and being handicapped in general. I know at the Casper College I would always use the elevator, because I had one class and there was 3 flights of stairs, and those flights of stairs were about 20 steps, and so that's 60 steps going straight up. That's really hard for me. I can barely go 10 steps out of my house without being out of breath. So imagine going 60 steps. So I would always ride the elevator. And I remember this one time where I was waiting for the elevator to open, and this guy comes past me, and he was like, the stairs are right there. You shouldn't be riding the elevator. Those are for people that actually need it. And right when he said that, the door opened, and I just went straight in, because looking back at it now, I wish I would have said something like, hey, don't judge a book by its cover, or something like, I do need it. I have PH. I have a heart condition. But I was just so, I don't even know how to explain it. I was so shocked that he would say that. And I know that people, that are healthy, I know that people that are healthy do ride the elevators all the time. But I'm just like, really? That came out of your mouth like that? You don't need to say that. What? Alright, you guys, so that is it for today's video. I know that it was long, it was kind of super hard to watch, but, I think I needed to say all that stuff and just get that all out of my chest. And it actually made me feel a lot better. It made me feel a lot better. And I know that some stuff you probably don't want to hear. And I know that it's really hard to talk about it and all that, and I do wish that I will get better, and I hope that I get better. And if you're struggling with mental illness and all that, or physical illness, you can always come and talk to me, and I will be there. I look forward to seeing this video in the future, and just knowing how far I came and how I overcome this, because where I'm at now is not where I'm at in the future. I probably will be a lot worse, or I might be better. Who knows where I will be at in a year? I don't know. I never explained the blue ribbon on my shirt. So this is a pulmonary hypertension. It's like a pulmonary hypertension warrior shirt. So this color is periwinkle, and it is the official color for pulmonary hypertension. So I did order this shirt just to remind myself that I am strong, and I'm a fighter, and I'm going to keep fighting, and hopefully my mental state will be a lot better soon, I hope. But yeah, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little more about me, and that's it. Not all my videos will be like this. It'll probably be a lot more funnier, and it'll be with my brother. But this was a serious video, and I felt like I needed to get, I felt like I needed to say these things, and this is my life, and this is real, and this was so hard for me to do, and it's going to be hard for me to post and see you guys' reaction to this, but I know that I will get through this. And yeah, so as always, if you want, please comment below. Please comment below future video ideas, or like how you reacted, how you handle your depression and anxiety, because that would be super beneficial for me. Please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And like today's video, I will see you in the next video.